ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the little audio pause. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Clearview Ice Arena for this ACHA Men's Division III ice hockey game between your Robert Morris University Colonials and the Case Western Reserve Spartans. I am Andrew Keel. Alongside me for the first time on the island, Billy Depew. Welcome aboard.
Man, Andrew, I am really excited to be here tonight for this RMU and Case Western matchup.
We take a look at the goalie matchups right off the bat. As for RMU, we are going to get a debut tonight. Caden Hurock will get the start in net for the first time in a Colonial sweater in the ACHA. True freshman, only goalie on the roster that's a true freshman. Should be an interesting night for him.
Yeah, well, he's a little more unseasoned than we have Garrett Miller for Case Western. I'm going to be honest, Andrew. Had a pretty egregious year last year. Not a great year. Was 1-11, letting up about 5.5 goals a game. 87 save percentage, but I will say they played one game so far, had a phenomenal game, faced 43 shots, only let in 2. That's a 95 save percentage. However, tonight he does have his hands full with a very good Colonial squad, especially Sam Palmer. Now, Sam is listed as a defenseman, but if you were tuned into last week's thriller, he did have 2 goals, and one of them was in the late third to send it to what eventually was an overtime win.
That was. And for Case Western, the one you got to look out for, the one goal scorer from their previous game, Guy Mastruza put up the 1 goal in their first game this year, put up 5 points last year, 4 goals as well. So he is a good sharpshooter for this Spartan team.
Yeah, and I think this is a really interesting matchup. You know, Case Western did come off a loss last week, their first game of the season, but you take a look at this RMU squad, a little bit of a struggle last week. They did eventually come away with the W, but really what I want to see from them tonight is taking control of the game early. It was more so a ping pong match, not a hockey match, so to speak. I want to see this team go out and control the game early.
Yes, that was that was true. As I fumble over my words, RMU looking at a 2-1 record, but as you said, not necessarily a safe 2-1 after their kind of scary one last week. As we head to Phil Paczynski down in the box as we learn the starters for tonight's game.
College Hockey East presents a CHE Men's Division III League game. First, introducing the away team from Cleveland, Ohio, the Case Western Reserve Spartans. Here are tonight's starters for Case Western under direction of head coach Kevin Kittrick. Your forwards tonight, number 8, Ethan Bake.
Ethan Bake will get the start.
Will Moran.
So will Will Moran, the assistant captain.
Ethan DeGrandis.
And Ethan DeGrandis will get a start.
Tonight, number 6, Taz Chiapatsikul.
Chia Patrick Skull will get the start. And Deegan Giel.
Garrett Miller.
And as stated before, Garrett Miller will get the start
Now introducing
in
our
net.
home team. Wearing the red and blue, let's hear it for your Robert Morris Colonials. Here are tonight's starters for Robert Morris under direction of head coach Norm Riffner. Your forwards tonight at number 9, Parker Summit.
The assistant captain, Parker Smith, will start on the wing.
21, Justin Newton.
So will Justin Newton with 1 goal and 1 assist.
2, Luke Rose.
And Luke Rose will get the start out center.
Number 11, Noah Long.
Noah Long getting the start on defense.
And number 23, Adam Shirilli.
And Adam Shirilli.
Tonight, number 30, Caden Hirsch.
And as stated before, Caden Hurock will make his first start in the Colonial sweater.
We ask you to please rise and remove your hats.
And it's a good night because Tucci's here for our national anthem.
Let's hear it, Tooch.
Wish everyone all the best. Have a great game today. Remember the French this evening. We're doing the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see my
Always a good night when we hear Tucci sing for us.
Wonderful performance by Tucci as always.
As we are about to get this D3 match underway.
Josh Belkey and Jolly Rancher Stranger.
We are getting ready. Lining up is the starting lineups as we are about to get this underway. Are you excited?
Excited would be an understatement, Andrew. I am pumped, especially after that wonderful performance from Mr. Tucci. I am more gassed up than I couldn't even explain right now, man.
Running out of metaphors.
I am.
As we get ready, we will see Luke Rose in the face-off dot, taking on, I believe, that will be number 10, Wilmer Rand in the face-off dot. Little fist bump. I do believe, Parker Smith will move into the face-off dot. Incorrect from my lines. As puck down and sticks are down, and Case Western starts with the puck in their own zone. They're going to send it up. It turned right over to the defense, but right back over for Case Western. Case Western going to turn it over. That was a lot of pouncing back and forth right off the bat here. No one really with possession. Case Western now going to try and do it. Here's Moran. Moran's going to send it up to Bake. Bake going to try and pass it back to Moran, but unable to keep it. But pickpocket, and now back the other way, and Robert Morris now going to send it all the way around. Picked up at the point. Intercepted by Noah Long. Before, here's Smith. Smith going to circle back, send it back to his D-man. Find his own net. Sends it across, picked up now by number 24, Zach Love. He's going to send it in, was Bendakovic.
Case Western's doing a really good job of keeping a very aggressive forefront in, Robert Morris's own zone.
Turnaround shot, save made, rebound loose, just goes wide from Miller. Intercepted at the blue line, shot goes just wide, and here comes Bendakovic now. He's going to lose it, and it goes behind the net. Pirazinski now is going to send it in. And sent back, and now right back to Pirazinski. He's going to pass it across to Baker. Baker's going to send it in to Bendakovic. Before picked up by Baker in the blue line at the red line again. He's going to send it in deep, going for a little dump and chase action. Hasn't really turned out, but here is Bendakovic all alone in the slot. Shot goes wide into blocker, save made by Miller. Back the other way. This is Taman. Taman has 3 around him, ends up losing it in the process. Pirazinski's going to send it up, and now it's going to go to Betts. Betts moving in, is going to turn it over at the blue line, and now Case Western going back. Shot in, and there is the first save for Caden Hurock in his ACHA career.
Needed to get those jitters out of the way, Andrew. You know that he was feeling it before the game, especially for his first career start here for the Colonials.
Always got the jitters out. We had that happen last night as well for McCabe for D1. 2 rookie goalies getting the start back-to-back for the Colonials here. Into the offensive zone now. Back at the point. It's going to be sent up, and here comes Case Western pushing in. This is number 7. This is Green. Green's going to lose it. And behind the net, Green going to try and pick it up, but it will be picked up by Luff. Lost in the skates of LaQuatra. Case Western putting on the pressure now. They've been doing that all game so far, despite only being 3 minutes in. They've shown a lot of pressure. Not many opportunities for RMU so far.
A ton of pressure in front of the net, as we've seen right there on both ends. RMU hasn't really had a whole lot of control, and if so, it's been pretty sloppy as we get an ice here.
An icing there by Scarelli, as it's going to go all the way back down, and Hurock has got to line up for his first defensive zone draw.
Yeah, big, already a pretty necessary win here. As I mentioned, the possession hasn't been great for this RMU squad early on.
Pushing up and sent into the defensive zone. Case Western going to regroup. Big hit there along the boards by Scarelli, but it's going to end up going the Spartans' way as a lot of bouncing pucks out in front, and another big save by Hurock.
What a hit there by Adam Scarelli there, Andrew. Early on getting some aggression and definitely necessary to push the tide.
That's what you want to see. You want to see the pressure bouncing back. Baker with a hand pass, going to lose it though. Picked up by Moran. He's in. The shot blocked away by Parzinski. Picked up by the captain, Tejen. He's going to send it in, and it's going to be intercepted by Parzinski. And here he comes, shaking off one hit. Going to keep it along the far boards. Deflected pass goes right to Baker as he's going to send it down to Vookman. Vookman going to send it around. Newton sends it in front, and it's cover by Garrett Miller.
It's important that this RMU squad, it's imperative, so to speak, that they start putting on the pressure in the Case Western zone. It's very important, especially early on, if you want to get a momentum going. And it was started off with that Adam Scaroli hit earlier on, not too long ago.
Shot there by Parzinski. Was tough for Miller to see, but able to get a stick on that one. This is now going to go to the far boards yet again. Case Western going to clear the zone. Parzinski loses it a little bit, and here comes Case Western on a 2-on-1, just losing it, and then flying goes the stick of Taman, losing his stick on that one. As the puck goes down, and it's a foot race in the offensive zone, going to be won by Newton, who missed last game due to an injury. Is back in the lineup. Good to see him back in the lineup.
Very good to see him back. Much needed depth for this RMU squad.
Here comes Case Western. They're going to flying up the close boards. That is Berchard. And now sent all the way back into the defensive zone. So all that zooming up the ice, and it goes right back to where he started. Sent in by Taman. And it's going to be picked up by Jack Jones. Jones going to try and reach a stretch pass, but not able to get it. Would have been icing, but on net. As here comes Bendakovic to put on a little pressure. And now RMU is leading the pressure game, I believe.
It's what they need, more pressure on the forecheck, Andrew.
Bendakovic going to send that one over. Back to the point. Point shot covered up by Miller. A great shot there by Noah Long.
Good shot there. I think early on in games you're looking, and we've talked about this before in some other games, you want to look for quantity over quality pretty much. You know, you want to get that goalie a little tired out, especially when you're keeping it in, we'll say Case Western zone, for example. You want to keep it in and want to put shots on net.
As Case Western now, the Spartans going to try and get it out of their zone, but it looks like it's going to be picked off by Kessler. And he's going to send it down below the ice, but that one's going to just barely be kept in. Sent back in by Noah Long. It's going to be picked up by Kessler around the close boards. Back to the point. Slapper shot. Easy save there by Miller. Sent around. Rebound shot. Tough angle, but able to get a cover across is Garrett Miller.
Good hustle there by Noah Long to keep that possession alive. As I just mentioned, you got to keep possession. They're doing a better job of it than earlier on in the game. Felt like Case Western had a very good forecheck, and RMU had a tough time getting it out of their own zone. But now the pressure is starting to go in the Colonials' favor.
The fourth line jumps on here for Coach Riffner. Back to the point. Captain Baker now showing off the edges, going around 1, 2, and 3, but picked off eventually by the last one. And now the other way comes the Spartans, led by Bake, but picked off by Parzinski. As that one's going to clear the zone, picked up by the Spartans defense, and now Parzinski going to send that one in. As two Colonials collide, one without a stick. That is Wade Daniels without the stick, and a great glove save there by Hurock. The first big save, I believe, of the night.
You know, Andrew, it's important and obviously we don't want to see him face shots, but you know, inevitably it's going to happen. But it's important that early on, Hurock faces those shots just to get acclimated to the game, so to speak.
Yes, that's what you want. Colonial's going to win that draw, but the Spartans are going to steal that. That gets sent around, but intercepted as a far pass for Newton ends up out of reach as Keel all over Newton on his way down. Picked up by Love. Or Rose, my mistake. Sent out to the point. Sent in, but turned over. Tried to be kept at the line by Rose. unable to do so.
Very physical game so far, Andrew. We're gonna probably continue to see that as the game carries on.
The big question will be, will the refs start using their officiating? Breakout pass blocked by number 8 Jones, as he's unable to clear there, and now back in their own zone.
Yeah, tough break for Jack Jones. Just the wrong place at the wrong time. Probably didn't even see that puck heading his way and just got in the way with his skate there.
I believe he was looking the other direction. As now the Spartans going to regroup. Send up the near boards. That is Taman. Taman's going to lose it, go all the way to Hurock before getting picked up by the Colonial Scarelli. Scarelli's going to send it back the other way. And up, picked up by Bendakovic. He gets around 2. He's in. Shot just goes wide.
Good control there by Bendakovic. Sorry to cut you off there, Andrew. Good control by him. Great speed down the line. Just couldn't get the shot on net there.
He's going to get another chance, but he's going to leave it off this time. 4 people around number 24, Love. And a big hit, big reverse hit, I believe, by Jolly. Tried to line him up, was long, but just got knocked on his behind.
Yeah, Isaiah Jolly trying to return the physicality favor that RMU has placed so far in this game.
Case Western tried to get an outlet pass, intercepted though by Scarelli. He's going to send that one in. There's a little interference in front of us, not called. Believe they're going to let most penalties kind of seem like they're going to let things fly.
Yeah, you know, from a safety standpoint, not too great, but, you know, from the people's eye, sometimes that's good, and sometimes physicality is just part of hockey, and people like seeing that.
Baker doing the splits to stay onside for Luff. Luff going to fan on the pass, though, and it's going to be turned over and back the other way. Parzinski, the only one back to cover, but able to get the puck away from the Spartans' attack.
Good hustle there by Parzinski to break up that attack, and here comes one from RMU.
LaQuatra has a 2-on-1, decides to shoot, rebound in front, save made. Double save by Miller, making 2 spectacular saves there.
Yeah, good stuff there from Garrett Miller. RMU had a great opportunity to tally their first goal of the game on both sides, and they could not get it to go. Good work from Garrett Miller.
Parzinski hurries and beats the icing on his own side. Not something you really want. You want to get that break, and a shot there by Ermajati. My mistake. We've been saying that wrong for 2 years, and we just figured that out recently on our podcast. When we talked to him, we found out it's Ermajati.
Trust me, man. This is the first time I've looked at some of these rosters, and I can't really decide which team's rosters has some crazier names, man. So if we mispronounce one, especially if I mispronounce one, blame it on Andrew, because he told me how to pronounce these names.
And I'll blame it on Caden.
Fair enough.
As RMU now on the close boards, this 4th line back out there. They've got chemistry, this 4th line. Lived together last year. At least Daniels and Bookman did. So that's good chemistry that you're building already. Offside called for for Spartans. Could not keep it onside was the captain, Jen. And now the Spartans going to regroup. Taken up by Jan. He's going to pass that one up to Taman, but loses it. And here come the Colonials. This is Rose. Rose leaves it off for Newton, and his shot goes right into the chest of Garrett Miller, facing a lot of shots again.
Yeah, good leave there by Rose. He definitely didn't have a better shot than the second guy. Just the defender's placement. It wasn't there for him. Great leave there. Great placement there by Garrett Miller, though, to make the easy save. Routine save, we'll put it at that.
Miller facing 43 shots in the last game for Case Western. Facing a lot so far this game as well. Pass back at the point. Had to make a double save after it bounced off his own player and right back at him to Garrett Miller. I don't know if that counts as 2 saves or just 1. We'll have to see at the end of the game.
He's stat padding at this point, Andrew. Padding, but
As here comes Newton coming back, and a great save by Miller. After the first 3 minutes, where it was kind of all the Spartans, really. Colonials have really turned it up after the first 3 minutes.
Absolutely, Andrew. The pressure has definitely just turned the table, so to speak, and I really like what RMU and the Colonials are doing right now from a pressure standpoint.
The Spartans win the draw, but lose it behind the net to Newton. Newton fighting off 2 people, still able to keep it, loses his stick with a slash, no call. But the Colonials are going to keep possession. As here's Smith. Smith at the bottom of the circle. Gonna send it in front, across, rebound just goes over the net. That a beautiful chance did Luke Rose. Newton has it, has the point option, goes to it. Scarelli's shot goes up in the air and into the corner.
What a pass there by Justin Newton, just to leave the shot just a bit high. Nonetheless, great vision there from Justin Newton.
Sent back in from Scarelli. As Smith's going to live a hit. Behind the play, there was a little bit of an interference, also not called. Fans in the arena did not like that.
Yeah, Jolly's been definitely letting his presence known from a physical standpoint early.
Case Western trying to get out of their own zone. Another flubbed pass, as this one's going to get turned over to the Colonials in the feet of Bendakovic. Doesn't realize it. Baker's going to send it back in behind the net. Case Western going to try and clear, but barely almost was kept by Parzinski. Just rolls over the line, unable to find it.
Good effort there by Parzinski. It's not always going to go your way, and that time it didn't.
Parzinski behind his own net. Going to pass it up. And this second line now going to keep it rolling. Here is number 17. That's Betts. Betts going to try and send it across to just out of the reach of Scarelli. Scarelli's going to send it down. Tries to hit Bendakovic. Would have had him if he hit. Would have had an easy goal if he makes the pass, but not looking for it was Bendakovic.
Yeah, Bendakovic had the opportunity right there. That is a tough pass, though. I will say that.
Very tough pass. Behind the back, no look.
Would have been an absolute thriller if he would have got that off.
Bendakovic's shot just tips off and goes off the top of the boards. Picked up by Betts. Betts going to send it towards the net, but deflected away. Picked up now by Palmer. The aforementioned 2 goals in the last game against Rowan Palmer, playing on the 3rd D pairing tonight. And that will be an icing, I believe, as we will go all the way back into Case Western zone, something that we've had a lot of since the first league
Yeah,
months.
absolutely. As you mentioned earlier on, it was all Case Western from a possession standpoint in the opposition's zone, so to speak. Now Robert Morris seemingly flipped it and are starting to pepper the net.
Colonials win the draw, but Spartans steal it away. A little bit of an interference there by LaQuatra, no call yet again. Turnover in front, shot there by Luff, goes wide.
They are really letting them play out here, Andrew, with these hits here.
I believe so, and as long as he doesn't get too out of reach, I feel like that's a good play. That one's going to get sent the distance. Hurok just misses it with his stick. And now the Colonials going to try and regroup again, sent the length up to Ermajati. And he's going to send that one up to Kessler, who tries to hit Luff, but unable to hold it is Luff, and the Spartans are going to go the other way. Spartans going to send it up into the skates of the assistant captain Cohen, I believe. No, that was Moran, my mistake. There's a big hit there by number 15, Ermajati. The Colonials still offensive zone pressure. Even if they don't have the puck, they're in the offensive zone. But now it's a 2-1-2 the other way, just as I say that, but a good defensive play there by Noah Long to stop that 2-on-2 from developing. And then immediately clears it out to center as a regroup. That one's going to be picked up.
Ton of board play I've seen so far from both of these teams, Andrew. Expect that to carry on throughout the game.
It's going to be picked up. That is Newton. Newton going to spin back around. Passes it back to his defense, who's going to try and hit Smith. He does. Smith going to hit Newton now with a beautiful pass. Tipped. Just goes into the netting. Another great opportunity on the rush.
Absolutely, and it started from the pass on the boards. As I just mentioned, expect that board play to continue to carry on, whether that be from a physical standpoint, passing standpoint, pretty much just a breakout standpoint in general, as we saw right there.
Smith looking to win this draw. He'll win it back to Newton. Tried to get it one more to Rose. And out of the zone it'll go as Rose unable to keep the pass. Sent into Newton. Newton going to try and do a little magic to get the puck back. Unable to, as Parzinski now going to skate back to get it behind his own net. Parzinski settling it down. Going to be tipped up to Baker, but just a little bit too far. Parzinski's going to pick it up again. Has Newton on the far board by himself. Has Baker as an option. Doesn't go there. Goes to Parker Smith. And then he's going to hit Baker as Baker's in. little bit of kick from the ref. Tries to go across to Rose, unable to get there. Rose with a nice hit, going to leave off to Smith. Smith in front for Newton, had a chance. Tip just wide. Shot from Parzinski. Hits a man in front, and he looks to be a little shaken up. That is Yen, the captain. Not putting pressure on that leg. That doesn't look too good.
Oh, yeah, a bit of a stinger there for Yen. A little unfortunate.
And he has to stay out because of the icing, so that's going to be even worse. I believe if he was actually injured, like seriously injured, he's allowed to make the switch even on the icing. But it looks like he wants to keep going, so he's going to stay out there despite the icing.
Yeah, you can visually tell he's a bit banged up from facing that shot. They'll likely get him out on a switch as soon as they can clear this puck.
And that's if they can. They haven't had a good success rate so far, but just as I say that, they get it out. The Colonials now on the defense, passing it across. Now it's going to be picked up by number 8, Jack Jones, who sends it in, intercepted, and back the other way is Case Western. Picked up in the slot. Going to be turned over, picked up by number 8, Jack Jones again. Colonials now trying to get out of their own zone. They haven't even had much pressure. They just keep losing the puck when they're trying to enter the zone. As Bendakovic with a lot of speed getting through multiple men, going to be held up at the boards there, and now it's going to be Jones again.
Andrew, the strength of Case Western's defense thus far has been on the forecheck. They have created some turnovers down there in RMU's own territory. That has slowed down a bit, though, as we've been able to get a few more shots on net than Case Western has.
Great tip by Palmer to stop that one from going to the slot, as Case Western going to keep it, though, at the point, going to send it down into the corner now, and picked up at the point by Keel. Keel's shot is blocked in front by number 4, Luff. Battle in the corner. 5 players in there digging at it. Unable to get free, and now it finally does, picked up by Palmer. Palmer's going to lose it behind the net. Tried to tuck it in. Was Case Western unable to do so, and now a 2-on-1 defensively, as he's just going to shoot that one in. Case Western behind their own net. Seem to have reversed the pressure after a lot of pressure from RMU.
Absolutely. Now I'd say we're looking at a 50-50 going in with a pressure here with 2 minutes, just about 2 minutes to go in the first.
Case Western now on a break. Shot, huge glove save, flashing the leather was Hurok. He's been sleeping a bit today because he hasn't had many shots. They've had some offensive zone pressure recently, but not a lot of shots, but proving he's still awake back there.
No, as I mentioned earlier, it's imperative that he faces some of these shots and proves that he can stand tall in front of the net, and so far, especially flashing the leather there, has proven to be effective.
Behind the net, the Spartans, number 5, Birdshear gets taken down, as now it's picked up by Long. Long going to send it up. At the defense, that one's going to go into the stands. No delay game penalty in this league, and we'll be going back to the offside faceoff dot for this next faceoff. The 4th line coming back out. Staying out Bookman. And the faceoff won by the Spartans, sent back. Sent into the offensive zone. Sent in, here's Bookman. Bookman going to send it across. This is Bendakovic. No, sorry, that was Daniels. Bookman fans on the shot, and here comes the other way. 3-on-2 developing for the Spartans. Ends up losing it over the net. And now regrouped by the Colonials. Baker's going to have it. He's going to send it up to Ermajati. Ermajati loses it, turns it over in the slot. Picked up by the alternate captain, Cohen, and loses and shoots it wide. The Colonials now battling in their own zone. Completely role reversal. Seems like the first 3 and the last 3 were all Spartans so far.
It starts with the forecheck, Andrew. You know, Case Western has done a really good job of playing physical down in against the Colonials in their own zone.
And it picked up by Smith. Smith getting through one, tries to go through another, loses it though. Is going to go back, all the way back for Scarelli. He's going to pass across. He has Smith one more. Smith going to send it into the zone as we hit 17 seconds and 15 remaining. Little board battle along the close bars, and here's Newton. Newton coming in. Passes it down to Rose. Rose is going to fan on it. Or that's Smith, my mistake. Shot! Goes in!
He got it!
A buzzer beater for Parker Smith. His first of the season. It's been a while. The leading scorer from last year finally gets on the board with just barely seconds to go in this period.
Yeah, as you mentioned, had 14 goals on the year last year, and what an absolute ripper just as time runs out.
A huge shot for Parker Smith with just with 1 second they're going to put back on the clock, and they're going to drop this puck with 1 second left. What a way to end this period.
That is,
if you're the Colonials.
That is huge, Andrew. That is massive, especially we talk about momentum a lot. That is something that adds to that momentum to carry into this second period.
A huge end of the period. And you know what? A huge shout out to Mrs. Luff in the ICU. Dealing with some brain surgery. We hope you are going well, and we wish you the best.
Yeah, Coach Luff, the assistant coach of this team, mentioned that she is a huge supporter, a huge fan of this squad, and watches every game. So it would be disrespectful if we didn't wish you all the best and all the love from our RMU hockey family to yours.
And in saying that, we'll go over our second period recap now. The only goal coming with 1 second left, that was by Parker Smith. It is an absolute ripper of a shot, too. Both goalies looking strong as well. Hirok not letting in a goal through the first period. That's a great start to your RMU career.
Oh, absolutely. Hirok just, especially that last save that he made, flashing the leather, that really just shows that, hey, I can do this. There's a reason why I'm out here. But going back to that goal from Parker Smith, who had an assist last week. Listen, that was just an absolute ripper. I said it during the stream. That was a beautiful shot and a great way to end the period and to carry some momentum into that second period.
And we will see you in the second period. We're going to jump to an intermission about 14 and a half minutes until we will be back for period number 2. We will see you then. Welcome back to the second period at the Clearview Ice Arena. Robert Morris Colonials versus Case Western Reserve Spartans. We start things out with the official scoring of the goal that was scored with 1 second remaining on the clock. It will be Parker Smith, assisted by Justin Newton, and that is it. Now, going on to the second period, Billy, what do we need to see from the Colonials if they want to take this from a 1-goal lead to an even bigger lead?
Well, you know, Andrew, as I mentioned at the start of the game, before the game even started, if you take a look back at last week, the game was too close for comfort. A lot of back and forth, and then eventually they came out of there with a W. But, you know, really you want to get it going, and it took all of but 1 second left in a period to put a goal on the board. What I'm looking from this Colonial squad, they had a very good chunk of time where possession and the press and everything was in their favor. It's just nothing was really going in. That pressure needs to continue. I know that can be tiring, but that possession and that press, and especially the forecheck, which Case Western actually has done a pretty good job so far of keeping RMU in their own zone. I need to see more of that out of Robert Morris as the game goes on.
You say it takes a lot of energy to be on the press, but it takes a lot of energy to be on the other end as well.
Absolutely.
It takes more energy to be on defense for those type of situations than it does to be on offense. So the more pressure you put on the offense, you know you're getting tired. You're getting tired, but in the back of your head, you got to be like, well, I know that they're getting more tired than I am.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but yeah, I just think, you know, staying out of your zone, that's the best way to put it. Stay out of your own zone. That'll create more shot opportunities for yourself and prevent shot opportunities from a young goalie in Caden Hurock, which, by the way, has performed very well tonight. As I mentioned, at the end of the period, had a very nice glove save and will look to continue to have a good performance so far.
As we get ready for puck drop here in the second period, we got Hurock to our left now. Miller is not quite to our right yet, but he's going to make his way there.
Yeah, Garrett Miller, I mean, look, I kind of threw some shade at him at the beginning of the game. You know, he went 1-11 last year, didn't look all too well. But in general, this Case Western squad looks a lot better than the last time we saw them, which I believe was November of last year.
I believe so. That was the last time we were at Case Western. They were here in February in a rescheduled match. As we get the second period underway in the defensive zone for the Colonials and back, starting the other way with the second line starting for Coach Riffner. Case Western trying to work it behind. Bendakovic pokes it away from one, but goes right back to another. And now the Colonials, good defensive play there by Long to stop a 2-on-1 from developing. As Bendakovic now in, shot save made by Miller. Had a nice in-close shot there. Revere, the Spartans behind the net. And they're going to push it up the close boards. And now Long, once again, is going to get it. Another stop of a 2-on-1 possible opportunity. As back to the point now. Keeping pressure on is the Spartans. Baker in a little shoving match in front of the net. Oh, had a great chance to go over to Moran, but just goes wide. As now the Colonials in. Just a bit wide. Now another chance. No go. And the Spartans have looked strong this period so far.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth so far. Spartans starting to win that match just a bit more than the Colonials are.
In front, goes all the way to the point. Point shot blocked by Baker. Colonials having trouble possessing the puck now. They got 4 guys in the slot. Not really what you want. As a shot there, Hurock never saw it, blocked in front. Baker now going to push up into the Colonials' offensive zone, going to dump it in deep. Picked up in the corner by Luff. Luff going to turn it over, though, and picked up by the Spartans. Turned over once again. Goes into the slot. Chance there for Parzinski. Just rolls off his stick offside, so the Colonials have to touch up.
Yeah, just missed a shot there in the slot, and wow, that was a bit of a distance shot there, probably meant for a clear. But, yeah, definitely an opportunity there in the slot. Just couldn't stick the puck there.
Spartans now, they're continuing the trend of the first and last 3 minutes of each period so far. They've been kind of dominating the play. Will they be able to, kind of dominate more going into, the more later than the first 3 minutes? As here's Parzinski back in the zone as a hit behind the play. No call. Bench up in arms about it.
Yeah, and this game is starting to get a little chippy. You saw it a little bit in the first period. Refs have pretty much been letting everything go, but, man, that could have went either way down here by center ice by the benches.
Jones sends a long one up. Ermajati in front, covered there by Miller.
Yeah, very aggressive game. As I mentioned, we saw it a good bit in the first period. Coming out again. Guy to watch out for if you're looking for that chippiness is I think I pronounced his first name wrong. Sorry, Isaiah Jolly. I was really having a tough time with that. I apologize. Isaiah Jolly kind of been all over on that aggressive side, the defenseman was.
Shot in from the point, picked up behind the net by Ermajati. He's going to send it back to the other side of the point. Who's going to send it back down Ermajati? Ermajati's going to send it back behind the net again. Struggling to get a good area. Taken down is Bookman. No call, and he's going to still be pushed down, kind of holding the stick under his arm to stop the defender from pushing away.
And it's funny because before this game, we saw a youth game, and the same thing happened, and even then they called an interference on that. Surprised that there was no call there.
Here comes the Spartans. It's their captain. It's Tien who gets crushed along the boards by Wade Daniels, putting on the pounds. And now the other way, back behind the net, pushing up. Daniels again after that huge hit. Bookman Bookman in, tries to go for a bad angle shot, goes into the netting. We can talk about that hit now.
Man, I love it from Wade Daniels. You could see he tried to trip up a player as he was going to the bench too, just to set the tone a little bit coming out in the second period. I love it, man. Down here on the boards, what a hit laid out by Wade Daniels.
That's the kind of the momentum change that you want for the Colonials. They've turned it around, and now they seem to be pushing on the pressure for the Spartans.
And that's something that you see typically from a defenseman, Andrew, but Wade Daniels playing that forward role, definitely being the aggressor. It's a nice tone to set there.
Marzinski with a little shove as the puck goes out. And Newton seemed to have lost the puck on that one. Didn't know where it went. Now Parzinski back. He's going to race back, being chased here by number 18, DeGrandis. As a little wrestling match between the two of them ensue. And now we're finally going to get a penalty, I believe. No, equipment violation will be enacted, so a stoppage of play as the cage of DeGrandis comes loose.
Yeah, Parzinski seems a little bit upset, a little bit of a battle down here. If it's going between both guys, either nobody's going or both are going to the box, and as we mentioned, they're just going to let that go on, and that's probably for the good of the game, to be honest with you.
As Phil Pachinski, our PA guy, thought there was a penalty and starts playing our penalty theme, unknowing that what was the call. As holding the stick under his arm, it was Love's stick, who just was stuck under the shoulder, the arm, and just dropped it, and still no call. Now Love's going to have it. He's going to pass it up to Betts. Betts moving in, shot save made, rebound in front, covered by Miller. And just like we said, pressures seem to have flipped at that 3-minute mark.
And it's crazy because this happens this has happened so many times throughout this game. But just going back to that last shot, John Betts, great control into the Spartans and was able to get a shot up. Wasn't a great shot, albeit, but still great possession nonetheless.
As the Spartans cutting down the other way, Jolly tried to cut in, ends up in the corner though. The Colonials coming back. Here's Betts. Betts cutting in, has the captain on him. Blocker save there. Goes into the corner off the ref. So an awkward bounce there. Bounces out in front. No one there to in the slot. Jolly's going to send that one in just wide of the net. Picked up by the defenseman Diffabaugh. And they're going to cycle it around, but turned over at the blue line by Betts. Here comes Love. Love's shot goes off the defender in front. That is Tien. Diffabaugh tries to keep it in, can't do so. And now it's picked up by Palmer, who's going to cycle it into the offensive zone.
Andrew, what I'd like to see from the Colonials a little bit more is getting all three offensive guys up on the attack and looking to get one or two more passes just to get off a better shot. But they are starting to put on the numbers, and they are starting to put on the possession as well.
The Spartans going to clear it out, going to be hand closed on the puck. That could have been called as well. Seems they're going to let a lot of things fly so far this game. And now Tien's going to send it in, turned right over to the defender. This is Noah Long. He's going to cut in the defense. He's going to dump it in, picked up by Luff in the corner. Luff has 4 guys between him and the next Colonial. But he's going to send it in front. Tries to hit La Quatra. Can't get the stick, and now a breakaway for the Spartans. In, just goes wide. It did seem like Noah Long had a step, so he had to take the shot early as opposed to getting in close to take a deke. Noah Long with a great hustle to get back to force the shot.
Ethan DeGrand has had a pretty nice opportunity there. Definitely had the speed for it, but good hustle there from the Colonial defense.
Long now with 2 around him. Trying to get that one loose. Picked up by Moran.
He's going to lose his twig there. Still keeping
that
him
is
up on the
Scarelli's
boards.
twig. Scarelli loses his stick, has to play man on man as opposed to stick. Blocked away by Scarelli now. So he's getting a lot of action here in this shift. As pushed along the boards, Scarelli's going to pick it up again. Scarelli's been all over this shift, able to fire that one loose over to Kessler. Kessler, and then they're going to finally get it out of the zone, make a change for the Colonials as this energy line of the fourth line starting to jump on. We see Vukman jumping over. Back into the corner. As there's been a lot of offensive zone time for the Spartans recently, but not a lot of pressure, I believe. It's all been like board battles in the corner.
Yeah, a lot of plays up on the boards, and not a lot of pressure, but also not a lot of numbers to show for it as well. Not a whole lot of shot opportunity, and those shot attempts are just not even getting to the net. So good job by the Colonials. Even though that they're giving up that offensive pressure, are sort of shutting it down in their own end, so to speak.
Full line change complete. The fourth line on the energy line for Riffner. Baker has 2 on him. Isn't able to beat the race behind the net as a poke check from a cross check from behind from number 16 Cohen. Not called as the Colonials cut the other way.
Yes.
Big hit opens the boards.
Man.
As Daniel's
What
getting
is
in a
going
fight
on?
along the boards.
There's nobody looking over there.
No one was looking except for
Wow.
us. Parzinski cutting up the close wall off the mask. As I'm surprised there wasn't anything called there, as there was a lot of interference. As the puck was behind their own net.
Yeah, Andrew. It started down in front of the crease of
Caden Hurock.
Yeah, Hurock. And then you had Simon Cohen sort of getting into it right in front of his crease, and that carried over to the opposite bench, and there was just a little bit of shoving here and there.
Wade Daniels once again with the big hit to open the door.
And another equipment malfunction, it looks like.
I believe, if I had to take a guess, based on the look of it, the strap of his gobbler was broken on the shot.
Yeah.
So that's my guess based on what he's fixing right now.
Your guess probably isn't wrong, Andrew. That's exactly where the shot went. Good save there by Miller, nonetheless.
Trying to figure out if he's trying to reattach it or if he's just going to take it off. Couldn't be too long that we do this. Might have to delay game. But hopefully we can get this fixed shortly. As we're talking about Wade Daniels. 2 big hits so far today. And in this period alone, the one along the close boards and the one on the far boards that opened the door.
Yeah, and just straight up just threw the opposite guy. I couldn't really catch who it was. Right in the bench. This isn't the first equipment issue we've had tonight, and it's from the goalie, and it's really just been because of how aggressive this game has been thus far.
Smith going to try and win the draw, ties up his own opponent, and a shot there by Newton just goes wide.
A quick shot there by Newton. Way to keep it in their zone.
Rose sends it in. Smith and Newton fight for it. Now back to Smith. Smith's shot on the goal line. As the whistle.
Oh.
I believe that went in, but got pulled back across the line. I don't see how that doesn't go in if you're Justin Newton. I believe that was Newton. It's sitting on the line in between his legs. The defender, I couldn't tell you who it is at this point, had his stick on the line, stopping it.
Hey, do we have a replay feature of it? I mean, it's not like we could really see anything up here. Do we got a camera strapped to the net or something? I don't know, but it doesn't look like they're going to give it to the Colonials on a really close call there.
It does not look like it. I mean, you're sitting on the line, you have someone pushing on it. There's no way that you can put enough pressure on it if you're the defender behind it to keep it from going in.
Oh.
And a little bit unfortunate here as the puck will go all the way back to the blue line. Diffabaugh is going to send it in. Fans a little bit on the shot, but gets enough to go in. Newton's going to force the puck off of the stick into the slot. Chance there just goes wide, and now the Colonials are rolling. It's Rose. Rose going to send it behind to Newton. Newton in front for Smith, gets his stick tied up, and now the Spartans going to come back the other way. Here come the Spartans. The shot off the stick and into the stands, all the way up into the far corner, making it all the way to the wall.
Yeah, that puck took a little bit of flight there. Definitely over the netting and the glass. Good save there by Caden Hurock, who, again, first start tonight for this club and has been phenomenal in this first start.
As here line up the centers. That Bendakovic wins it back. Picked up by the Spartans, though, behind the net. Into the slot. Shot just goes wide from Moran. Bendakovic going to send it up. That clear attempt is blocked. Going to try again. This one's going to squirt out. It's going to be picked up by Scarelli. Shirelli sends it up. Bendakovic. He's got one to beat. Fakes the shot. Pass into the slot. Tries to hit Betts, but on the backhand, unable to make a shot with it, as that pass is going to go in between the two men, and that will go all the way back to the defensive zone.
Yeah, John Betts just pretty much put it through both of his options on that pass. Tough break for the Colonials as they look to get a little more pressure here on the forecheck.
The Spartans in their own zone. Loses it right in front. Miller has to make a sprawling save to cover that one.
Yeah, that could have been ugly for the Spartans, and luckily the Colonials didn't take advantage of that and didn't get on that jump there. That could have been rough, and we might have had a different scoreboard had Miller not stepped up on that puck.
A great play there to poke it loose and send it straight barreling towards the goal. Back to the point. Parzinski going to send it in. Luff with it. Luff going to come out of the corner with it across. Tries to hit Baker, but a good stick there by Taman to stop the shot. Sent back in by Baker. Going to try and swing at it, and Taman's going to come through with it. Taman's shot, and the glove save made by Hurock yet again, showing off the glove.
Yep, the young buck is standing tall in his first performance tonight. Hey, maybe he could keep a clean sheet and have a 1.0 next to that save percentage.
That would be nice. Don't want to jinx it too early, though. We still got half a game to go.
You couldn't hear it, but I knocked on wood.
Oh.
Or whatever is on.
Whatever this is that we're sitting on. Shot save made by Hurock. Doesn't know where the rebound is. Great clear there by Noah Long. The Spartans going to pressure as that one's finally going to reach out of the zone. A lot more 50-50 on the pressure so far this period compared to the first.
Yeah, but if you go back, Andrew, you'll see that this was bound to happen. You know, both teams have had good possession on the puck at one point or another. And
offside will be the call. Baker leaves it off for Ermajati, who was not expecting, and the coaches, even on the bench, were saying you should have taken it yourself. Ermajati was not in any position to be moving ahead with that puck. So Baker, unfortunately, forces himself offside.
Yeah, well, I think Baker was trying to make the argument that a Spartan hit him offsides, and that's why that puck hit him. And obviously did not get that call, as we're going to take the face-off. And
as we finally get a fifth man on the ice for the Colonials. Spartans going to win that one. That draw back. Goes into the middle. Picked up now by Daniels. Bookman on the pressure. And now back to the point. Jack Jones going to send that one in. And again, picked up by the Colonials. Back and forth hockey for the last couple seconds. Now Bookman's going to send it in. Hit attempt by the Spartans. Bookman going to send it back to the point. Jones, the shot. Glove save there. Couldn't catch it. Couldn't hold it, though, as that one's going to go around and out of the reach of Jones. So back to center ice for a regroup. And into our speakers up there. Up by the lights in the speakers. Our blue lights up there.
Yeah, going back to that last shot, though, Andrew, obviously it would be more ideal if Miller just held on to that puck. But nonetheless, still was a very important save, a great save, and prevented another goal from going in, which he has done very well tonight.
He has done very well. As you said, didn't have the greatest stat line last year, but I believe this Case Western team is better than their team last year, so that also helps with the stat line. Pass attempt from the defense. Now in the center ice, a little bit of jollying back and forth. Going to be sent all the way up to Smith. Smith likes that little stretch pass. He's been up in the play a lot when the Colonials gather up the puck.
Yeah, and it's imperative that he is there for that breakout. And here comes a little bit of an attack from the Colonials.
Smith's shot blocked away. Gets the rebound but loses it. Pinching down is Long. Long's going to lose it though, but gets it back, turns it right back over as the captain Chien is going to dump that one down. There's a hand pass, I believe. That's why Long did not touch the puck there. Because now he's going to have it. He's going to pressure up, leave it for Smith. Smith's going to pass it all the way across the ice. And this is Scarelli. Scarelli's shot goes into the netting as we're going to get another stoppage play with 6:30 to go in the second period.
Yeah, you mentioned it not too long ago, Andrew. Parker Smith looking for those long passes, board to board, so to speak, and that's honestly been on the breakout. That's honestly been really the only effective way that the Colonials have been able to get the puck into the opposition zone. So look out for that to continue, whether it be Parker Smith or whoever. As there's a shot there.
Brzezinski with a nice shot. A little bit of, looked like a little setup play there as the puck gets over to Newton, I believe. No, Bendakovic passed it back to Baker, who sends it right across to Brzezinski.
That was a great setup. Parzinski had a clear lane there for a wrister, just could not get it to go, and Miller with another big save.
Baker's got to rush back, has one on him, able to block the pass across. As another pass across, that one broken up, I believe, by Betts coming back on the play. Great back check. The Spartans going to send it in front. A huge hit by Baker behind the net. Sent out, and here's Bendakovic. Bendakovic coming in. Poked away, loses an edge, is Love, but he's still able to pick up the puck. Parzinski looking for a deflection there, maybe by Betts, not able to get it. The Spartans with a lot of people around, that was Keel. And now sent up, kept on side. No, it was not. Very close on that one. Moran did not agree with the call. He thinks he had the line.
Yeah, tough break there for the Spartans. If that would have stayed fair, the referees are actually going to talk this over right now. Obviously, they can't change anything in the past. That was a pretty close call, but
only thing they can change is where the puck would be dropped.
Correct.
If they believe they made a wrong call.
And even then, even if they did drop it in that zone face-off, it really wouldn't have mattered because that either way, that was a pretty big possession kill there for the Spartans.
LaQuatra coming up. The shot save made there by Miller. Pass across, doesn't hit the man. LaQuatra tries to block it there. Unable to get those as Spartans moving up, and they're going to clear it down the ice. And that one is not going to be considered an icing. Palmer now back. Palmer's going to send it behind to Diffabaugh. Diffabaugh has one chasing him from behind. Going to hit LaQuatra as he's going to be in stride. Lots of room as that one's going to get sent into the corner now. Stick on the ice of a Spartan player. As a turnover in front, Kessler's shot hits a man in front. Kessler with a nice block on the tried exit pass. So that one's going to go back behind the net. LaQuatra going to be the first one there, beating out a Spartan shot towards the net, blocked away by the captain Chien. Sent in by Palmer, picked up by Kessler. Over to LaQuatra and a hit from behind. Nowhere even was the puck on Bookman. And he's going to get up a little bit woozy, but now he seems to be okay. He's going to send that one back behind the net to Kessler. Kessler's going to lose it, though, as kept at the line just barely by Diffabaugh, but loses his track of the puck as a stick gets caught up, and they are going to call that one on Diffabaugh. I don't know if I agree with that call.
You know, here's why I don't agree with the call. I'm not for one, it was a 50-50, but really the reason why that's a crappy call is just for the fact that out of all the things to call tonight, out of everything to call, you know, you had dudes throwing other dudes into the board, you know, you had all kinds of stuff go on. That's the call you're going to make? I am not a fan of the call either, Andrew.
All right. I do have to go back on my word. I do think it is a good call now. I originally thought they were calling for hooking. I just saw the word. It is trip, which makes a little more sense. I don't know if it's a correct call, but it was a better call than if they would have called hooking.
The reason why it upsets me is just, again, you had a lot of opportunities, you know, stop play and call a penalty, and that's the one you're going to call. So Now the Spartans have an opportunity to tie up the game here on a power play.
Parker Smith, a good poke check there to get that one out of the zone. And cutting back in is Case Western's power play. In behind the net, hit away by Baker. This is number 9, Keel, who has it. Oh, Parker Smith with a baseball swing to try and get that one out, almost clipping the head. That would have been bad. As now Baker picks it up. Baker trying to clear it, and it will. Just missing it is the defender of Case Western. Cutting in this way is DeGrandis. He's not going to get a full chance on it, though. In front shot save made, or block in front by Baker, and he's going to send it the length of the ice as a race here by Newton. Shot just goes wide, able to lift the stick of the defender and shoots that one just going wide. Had a great opportunity shorthanded.
Yeah, stick lift into the shot there. That was a thing of beauty. Just couldn't put it on the net there shorthanded. That would have been a huge goal for the Colonials.
Parzinski able to clear that one off the deflection off a Case Western player. Case Western now going to try and push up into the offensive zone, into the corner. Tries to pass it back. Bendakovic can't clear it. Send back into the corner. A lot of pressure. 30 seconds to go on this penalty now. Shot from the point just goes wide off a tip. Parzinski's going to clear it all the way down on the fly too. That's a miracle on ice in itself.
Yeah, that was.
Or off the ice because it didn't touch it.
Yeah, off the ice is probably a better way to put it. Man, that dump was something else. Just the way that it moved there.
Luff had a great chance there, shorthanded again. Another shorthanded chance for the Colonials. Could be proven good, and Diffabaugh out of the box now as he's going to jump right in. He's going to have to play offense for a little bit, and that little bit ends now as Hurock able to cover that one off the mask.
You know, Andrew, one thing that both teams are doing very well tonight is keeping shots as far out of the crease as possible. You know, a lot of these shots from both teams are coming closer to the blue line, and I think that's really just because of how aggressive both of these teams are playing. So from both teams, I'm looking to see a little more internal play, few more passes to get a better shot.
Colonials win the draw. Long behind his own net, going to pass that one up to LaQuatra. LaQuatra passes by one. Still has it, tries to hit Kessler. He's not there, though. Behind the net, kicked over to Kessler. Now behind the net. Oh, LaQuatra had a chance if it was to his stick, but it was to his foot. So unable to get a shot on. LaQuatra still. Kessler went trying to fake for a hit. Made the man dump it. And that will be an icing on the Spartans. No change can be made.
Yeah, and as I just mentioned, I think both teams really just got to get more play in front of the net. You know, I see visibly that both teams are trying to do that. But I think especially from RMU, they're rushing their offense a little too much. Let it build up a little bit. Look for that one more pass and try to get a better shot on net.
Face-off wing goes back to the draw. Back to the point, my mistake. Rose going to send it in. Newton passes it one more time to Smith. Smith shots and he scores again. Parker Smith with another top corner, top shed of beauty. It's 2-0.
Gross. That is all I got to say is gross. And I just said it. You got to get in front of the net a little more. And, oh, man, top bins. That was just a thing of beauty there from Parker Smith. His second of the night. The Colonials are up 2-0.
It is 2-0. Parker Smith by himself. Parker Smith 2. Case Western nothing.
I am disgusted. That was just gross.
Proven why he led the team in goals last year. Did Parker Smith 14 on the dock. As we get the official call here. Luke Rose getting the primary assist. And that will be it. Another single assist goal for Parker Smith. Both his line mates getting an assist tonight.
Yeah, Luke Rose on that last one. Good job of just finding him wide open. Was Parker Smith right in the middle. No defender in front of him, and that he just unloaded on that one.
Newton's shot gets blocked. He's going to try and reach it again, unable to get there before the Spartan defender. As Perzinski now down in the zone with 15 to go. Newton now going to try and hold it against the boards. Going to kick out to Baker. Baker. Shot just barely, and that one's going to go, and that one's going to end the second period of play. End of the first, end of the second. It will be Parker Smith 2, Case Western nothing. As, again, a late goal in this game in the end of another period.
Man, if RMU played the way they played in the last 2 minutes of the game for the last 2 minutes of the period compared to the rest of the period, I think this would be a totally different game. Speaking of totally different, this Case Western team, even though it is 2-0, you can see that there's been some changes since the last time these two teams met. Case Western applying a lot more pressure now on both ends. I'll say that. And Garrett Miller has faced a lot tonight and has produced a lot tonight, so to speak.
He has done really well tonight in himself. And Hurok hasn't faced a lot of shots, but the ones he's faced, he's been doing great on. As we will see you in the third period, we'll take a short intermission, 14 minutes about for this intermission as we cut, and we will see you for period number 3. Welcome back to period number 3 here at the Clearview Ice Arena for the Robert Morris University Clones versus Case Western Reserve Spartans. It is currently 2-0 Robert Morris, and the story of this game has been in 2 minutes. The last minute of the first and the last minute of the second. That's where both goals were scored by Parker Smith. What do you got to say?
Well, folks, he's not joking. The game, literally the first, pretty much everything but those last minute of each respective period have really been, obviously it's been a great game. You know, when you look at a low-scoring game, that means that there's a lot of aggression and a lot of hustle from these guys, and that's been nothing but the truth. We've seen that throughout the entire night. But really, it really has just come down to Parker Smith. The first period goal, huge heads-up play to get that off right before the period ended. And then both goals, by the way, have had a ton of heat on them. And I don't really know how much more Garrett Miller could have done on both of those goals.
There's not much he could have done. Both top cheddar, top corner, as I like to say. And just rockets up in those corners. You're not going to be able to get your gloves up there in time at all for a shot from Parker Smith.
No, and, you know, I think the opportunity was given on a rare occasion on both of those goals because Case Western's defense has actually been pretty solid so far, so to speak. They've been really, both sides have done a really good job of protecting everything inside out, has not really allowed have not allowed a whole lot of opportunity in front of the net inside the crease. Expect both teams to continue to do that. Also continue with the board play. You know, I mentioned it earlier. It was a lot of physicality. It was a ton of passing up across the boards. Can expect to see that, but the big thing is expect to see a little bit of chippiness, a little bit towards the end of this period, because by then we probably will have a winner, or if not a tie, and usually teams tend to get a little chippy at that point.
Yes, we will see that. As for the start of this period, it seems like we're going with the Bookman line, the energy line, to start things off, seeing if we can get the first minute as good as the last. As the Spartans going to start in their own zone, pushing it up, going to lose this pass. It's going to go past, and another lost pass. This one for the Colonials, maybe a little wet still on the ice. Puck sticking to the ice as it goes behind the net. Scarelli going to pass this one up. Ermajati tries to hit all the way to Daniels, but just a little wide. Daniels going to meet his man behind the net. They're going to get into a little board battle. Pushed away by the defender. Pushed down is Bookman.
Who is that? Who is that number 6 for the Case Western Spartans?
Oh, you know what you're trying. I actually know how to say that name.
Oh, good luck with that
Chira
one, man.
Patskell. As
Oh,
that one
wait
goes
a
behind
minute.
the net, in front, blocked in front. As the whistle finally
man.
goes, having me looking down at my notes while Hurok's saving his life over there.
Man, I am sorry. We got a Colonial down on the ice. That is going to be Mike Parzinski down. Probably caught a stick if I had to guess.
Or the puck. A huge block as a lot of Colonials in the crease. Hurok kind of left it behind him, lost it. As we were waiting for a medic, but we don't seem to have one yet. But Parzinski able to get up on his own feet. But that play was incredible. I look up and there's just 3 people in the crease. The puck sitting in the slot. Someone got the shot block. I believe it was Parzinski.
Yeah.
Able to get that pass block, the shot block.
And of course, the one time we weren't really focused on that, there was some crease action, and we weren't even having enough attention to see that all go down.
As now the Colonials look to regroup after the Parzinski injury. Might be back, might not. We hope that he comes back in this game.
Yeah, coach took a look. The assistant coach from the Colonials. He's still on the bench, and we'll look to eventually get back in here shortly.
Newton held up.
Oh, man.
No call. Big hit on the play. Newton down. Smith going to dangle around 1, dangle around 2. The shot gets tipped and just goes wide. Newton now behind the net, sends it out for Rose. Rose's shot. Miller thought he had it, but it just went wide, and almost another chance for Smith. Smith looking for the hat trick so far. Rose pushes loose as that one's going to get dumped in. Was looking for Smith, just didn't know where he was going with that one.
Yeah, his linesmen have done a very good job of setting up Parker Smith for opportunity. Obviously, he's had 2 goals tonight, looking for that third. Just not really the placement that he wanted it, and Garrett Miller with another save.
Huge save by there by Hurok. A little bit off his angle, wasn't expecting that shot. Able to get across to make the glove save after being off his angle.
Yeah, Caden Hurok really starting to stand tall in net, has done a great job tonight. Really just playing all angles, and he will continue to do so, hopefully, to keep a clean sheet here for the Colonials as I once again knock on whatever foundation we have all of our equipment on.
Love racing down after the puck. He's going to meet Keel there. Turnover in front. Backhanded shot by Bendakovic. Needed to maybe switch into the forehand. Check from behind there, no call. I believe a correct no call. Shot in front, tipped wide by Betts. As now the Colonials seem to be rolling again. Turnover in front. Bendakovic shot in the equipment of Miller. Didn't know where it was. Fell back onto it. As turnovers are starting to pile up for Case Western.
Yeah, great forecheck from RMU led to a few opportunities for Ethan Bendakovic. I think the first one, I don't really think he was expecting it. I think he was like, oh, crap, the puck's right here. I'm going to try to get it off with my backhand. Obviously not the right shot there, and then the second one had another great opportunity again.
Shot there by Scarelli goes wide, batted out of midair, rebound in front. LaQuatra thought he had another shot there by Kessler from behind the net. Miller able to get a stick on that one. Scarelli's shot from the point, tipped wide and covered by Miller after a little digging from Kessler.
Yeah, it hasn't led to a goal yet, Andrew, but this is what I wanted to see from the Colonials coming into this period, getting closer and closer to the net with shot opportunities, and they've done that so far in this third period of play, and they are due at this point.
Luff wins the draw to Kessler, and Kessler's going to send a weak dribbler to Miller to cover it, and we get the same song, which means there wasn't a lot of action.
No, there wasn't a whole lot of action, and I'm not going to talk anymore because of it.
And here comes the Colonials. And again, another chance in front. Luff had another shot, and now Kessler's going to pick it up, send it around to Scarelli. Scarelli fakes the shot. Shot now off the stick of Miller. Now behind to Kessler. Kessler's going to lose the race to Case Western. And here comes Moran. Moran's going to send it up to DeGrandis. Here comes Long. Long picks it up. And that's going to go all the way out to center ice, picked up by Chirapatskal. I now know how to say that name.
There you go.
Intercepted by Long.
I was really waiting to get you with that name, too. I was.
Long Kessler gonna send that one up. My mistake. Bookman with a nice hit along the Case Western bench as he gets tied up in Kessler's stick there. And Baker, fresh off the bench, gonna come in, send that one on net, trying to catch Miller off guard a little bit. Around behind the net, this is Keel. Keel's pass attempt goes wide, and now Baker gonna keep that one in. No, he does not, just bounces over his stick. Hurok gonna pick it up, and now Parzinski, which is, we are happy, is back on the ice. Able to send that one all the way down. Daniels just barely losing the race, and that will be an icing.
Yeah, tough loss there from Baker. Wasn't able to corral it and keep it in the zone. You know, I don't know if you played the new NHL game, but they added a new pressure meter. This third period, it's been blanket for this RMU squad. They were able to keep possession down in the offensive end for quite a while, and they're going to continue to look to do that, carrying on in this third period.
This fourth line, my mistake, energy line has really woken up in these past few games as they've gained their chemistry. As here's Daniels up to Vukman. Vukman kicking it back to himself, just goes a little wide. Vukman going to chase it, but will not be able to catch it. That was the captain, Tayan, going to send it up. Big hit there by Jolly, knocking down Daniels. Newton on the chase. Jolly's going to send that one up. Big hit there by Daniels. Loses his own stick. As Jolly now with it. Shot. Save made and covered by Hurok.
Yeah, Isaiah Jolly, we mentioned him a little bit earlier on in the game. He had a couple hits that definitely let this Case Western team, their presence known from a physical standpoint, and he continues to do so even in on this third period.
Smith, this first line back out there. Gonna just roll right into Hurok, and he's just gonna cover it. And once again, oh, nope, we're not gonna get the same song from our PA announcer. So it was a little bit longer of a break. Smith gonna win that one back, and that's gonna be dumped all the way down. Gonna be an icing unless Rose can win it out, but he will not. Keel able to win the race.
Yeah, I think maybe the defender there was trying to get it out of their zone, hoping that Rose would get a lead in there to prevent the ice, but to no avail. And now this Case Western team is starting to put together a case on the possession. Case.
As this one goes back to the point, Keel now has it. Gonna send it down. Down below the ice. And a big elbow. That one should have been called an elbow to the head. Still down was Jones. Now back to his feet. As here comes the Colonials the other way, it's Newton. Newton has Smith, but a bad bounce off the referee's skate, and that one goes into the bench.
Man, going back to that hit by Zane Green, really wouldn't even call it a hit at that point. He pretty much led with his elbow, and there's still only one penalty called in this entire game, and we've seen a lot of offenses. Then honestly, you could argue that the one that was called probably was the only one you could argue that shouldn't have been called.
Definitely could have been called, but definitely on the weaker side compared to some of the other penalties. And now, Love behind his own net, going to send it back for Long. Long's going to send it across. And a little bit of weak shot, but now picked up by Love. Love has Betts with him, but he's not going to hit him. Loses it down behind the net. Love still has it. Tries to hit Betts behind the net. Intercepted, though. Back to the point. Shot just goes wide. Here's Bendakovich in front. Shot. Save made by Miller off of the shot from Betts. Great glove save.
Yeah, Betts. I feel like that space right there, right by the hash, has kind of been the focal point of this RMU attack of recent. They've been getting a lot of shots from there. Both of Parker Smith's goals actually have came from that general area. They're going to continue to look to attack that middle of the ice, as I mentioned before, closer and closer to the crease.
Kessler just loses that one. Had a great chance off the draw. But now it's going to be picked up by the Quattro. He's going to pass it over to Long. Long sends it up, gets tipped in by Luff. Kessler on the chase. Big hit there by LaQuatra coming in. Pass across to Long. Long gonna send that one up. Tries to go for the exact same play this time, intercepted by the Spartans. But now they are gonna get it in, look, and Luff gonna chase. So with Kessler. And an off puck hit again. They're gonna let him play most of this game.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just because it's Division III club hockey or whatever, and they expect these guys to be scrappy, but some of the things done by this Case Western squad have not necessarily been hockey friendly, to say the least.
Kessler now has it behind the net, turns it over. Case Western going to go back the other way, poked away by Vukman. Kessler going to try and dig it out, but able to beat 2 men was keel to that puck as they're going to dump it in now, get a change. 4 men off for Case Western. Hurok throwing a little body, make a little screen there to not let the forechecker get the puck.
That's good. Even the goalie's getting in on this aggression now. That's what you need, especially with how much Case Western has done from the aggression standpoint.
Ermajati tried to pull his inner. Parker Smith on that shot. Just goes a little wide. And another shot in front. And Vukman fans on that shot. Now a 2-on-2 the other way. Betts coming back. And just a dump in for Bairdshare. Baker now has it. He's going to send it all the way up to Daniels, but just bounces off the stick. No icing because of the deflection by Daniels. Daniels tries to go for a hit. Not able to knock him off his feet. Picked up by Parzinski now, and that one's going to go up into the bench again.
Andrew, the Colonials have tried to get their breakout by air almost, if I feel like. A lot of longer passes they've tried to connect on. I think that approach isn't necessarily working. I mean, they are up 2-0, so I'm not one to judge, but I do feel like they could get a few more passes in to have a higher success rate, so to speak.
It's an interesting strategy so far. It's worked so far because they're winning.
And that's really all that matters.
Tries to go for the long pass again, was Diffabaugh, turned over. Diffabaugh going to go back and get it. Goes for the reverse, but no one there. Turned right over to Moran. Behind the net, and now we will have finally a Case Western penalty, I believe. As we will, the first penalty power play of the game for the Colonials is to the box is the assistant captain, waiting to see a number.
Turn around.
Turn around.
Turn around.
That will be 16, Simon Cohen going to the box, as we will see the first part of this RMU power play. What do you want to see in this power play?
Just possession. I think that's the big thing, is just possession, keeping it down here, getting shots on net, and hopefully extending this lead to 3-0, and there we go. Great
right
start.
off the bat, the Spartans are going to send that one the length of the ice. Hurok out of his net to go get that one. Baker with it behind his own net, waiting for the play to develop now. Going to send that one up to Newton. Newton sends it in. Newton reverses all the way back to Baker. Baker pass to Rose. Rose loses it in front, but's going to turn it back over himself. Rose up to Baker. Baker's going to send that one down to Smith. Smith tries to go for Luff, but just out of the reach. Tries to be, and a huge hit by Newton on that play as Hurok comes out to play that puck on the far end.
Yeah, Justin Newton trying to get his get back, so to speak, on a Case Western player. I believe that was Will Moran, as they make a line change.
Good turnover there by the Spartans. And Case Western now playing back and forth with themselves, going down and intercepting passes in the offensive zone, just sending it all the way back down in the defensive zone to kill as much time on this power play as possible.
I'm going to try a little bit of a reverse commentator's curse here and say that this has been a really good kill for this Case Western defense so far. And RMU will look to push in now and get a little closer to the net and hopefully find something.
Here is Betts circling completely around the zone. Going to send that one back to the point. A little bit out to Long. Long going to send it in deep. This is Kessler. Kessler back to the point. Scarelli playing with it along the boards. Sending it down in front. Can't get to Rose. Tries to clear, and it will, just bouncing past the stick of Noah Long, as with 5 seconds left, this penalty is going to come to an end. Betts going to pass it up to Kessler. Penalty officially expired. Kessler in, tries to send it in, and no avail. Looking for the trip on that one. Might have deserved that one, but no call after the penalty expires.
Yeah, that was a 50-50 there. He kind of lost his footing due to the twig, but I don't know if it was enough to be warranted a tripping, as they call an offsides here.
Offsides called here. Taman not happy about that call. Standing still, just shaking his head.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. His fellow forward was definitely offsides there. I believe that actually was Simon Cohen was offsides. Good call there by the ref.
As the Colonials once again have 4 skaters on the ice. Second time they've had that. Vukman tries to push through 3, doesn't get there, and that's going to be sent back in as Palmer's going to go back to get it. Palmer sends it up. Huge hit attempt there, as we are going to get a hand pass called. Hand pass, I believe, is the call. And that will come out of the zone. Yes, that is correct. Finally got, some confirmation that was in fact what that was.
Yeah. Things have been a little lopsided tonight. Finally got the confirmation there that we needed.
Down into the zone, picked up by Jones. Jones going to wrap it around. Going to send back the other way, but not expecting was Ermajati. And he goes sliding to block the shot, but the whiff would have been better off if he had stayed on his feet. Could have just sent it the other way. And now he picks off another pass, and here comes Ermajati. Another sliding block. Stay on your feet. Behind the net. In front. Huge hit there by Daniels. And a rebound in front. Almost getting right back at it was Will Moran. But a huge hit by Wade Daniels. The 3rd time we've called his name for a big hit tonight. And he's putting on the pounds for sure.
Yeah, and that is how to use your momentum. Hockey can lead to some pretty big collisions because, well, you can pick up acceleration and speed faster than any other sport. And he just used all that momentum there. Great hit by Wade Daniels.
Great win there by Smith. Wins it straight to Rose as he's going to come in with a full head of steam. Gets around one, has one in front, not able to hit him just off the stick of Newton. And he's able to pickpocket another chance. And Smith with another chance, not able to get there. Multiple chances here. This line has been buzzing today.
Andrew, I don't know if you caught that, but the ref, the Colonials might want to be thanking the ref right now. He kind of just kept this possession going. It did hit off the ref as the Case Western was trying to clear the puck to no avail at this point.
Unfortunate bounce and a big hit by Parzinski, knocking him off the puck. As back the other way, here comes Baker. Baker's shot tipped wide. Here comes the Colonials now. Lots of pressure. Oh, Newton steals the puck off of Smith's stick. Smith had a 1T lined up, and Newton unknowingly steals the puck from him.
Yeah, tough break there from the Colonials. Had a couple opportunities there, and eventually his own teammate ended up breaking that up.
Scarelli now in on green. Board battle ensues. Picked up by Kessler. Kessler loses it, but gives it right to Luff. Luff passes up to LaQuatra. LaQuatra tries to hit Luff, but right to the stick of Kessler, and it just goes wide. Back to Scarelli. Scarelli's going to send it in deep. Kessler going to chase after it. We'll let it go past him to Long. Long shot off the post. Just goes wide.
Oh, man.
Off the post, bouncing behind Miller. Unable to get there was Kessler for the rebound as he gets hit from behind. As 6 minutes about to go on this period, as the Colonials got to play defense now because the Spartans are going to definitely try and go out full swinging, and a breakaway here for Bendakovic, and he scores! Ethan Bendakovic grab that puck. The first career goal for Ethan Bendakovic. A beautiful shot on the breakaway. And it's 3-0 Colonials.
Yeah, I missed who made that pass. It looked like it was right off a line change, but Bendakovic, great heads-up play. Way to stay on sides, and another great opportunity used to the fullest from these Colonials, and they're going to go up 3-0 with 5:40 to go.
5:41 on the clock. Ethan Bendakovic with a beautiful catch, able to stretch out just enough and get away. Goes on the breakaway. Absolute snipe, glove corner. And they seem to see that a lot, these Colonials.
And I want to listen in to see who made that pass, because that was a thing of beauty and a great heads-up play.
With an assist on number 17, John Betts.
John Betts will get the primary assist. Pass in front just goes wide. And that will be, again, only one assist on the Colonials goal again.
Yeah, but, man, I got to give it to John Betts. Just a heads-up play by both him and Bendakovic. I mean, really great connection there.
Bendakovic cuts loose again. Shot, he scores! Ethan Bendakovic scores again! Another beautiful shot, and he buries it top corner yet again. 4 goals all in the top corner. Ethan Bendakovic, get 1, get 2. We've got two goal scorers tonight.
Yeah, I gave John Betts most of the credit for that last goal, but, man, that was all Ethan Bendakovic. Just the sheer will and hustle from him to go and get that puck in Spartans territory. And just, man, as you mentioned, another top corner shot, as we're going to get a timeout here for Case Western.
Timeout Case Western here, 4-0, as we will get the official word now. Jack Jones will get the primary. And that will be it.
And that's it. I don't know if maybe the PA guy is only picking up on 1 assist or what, but
Even then, a beautiful a great shift from that second line.
absolutely. And you know, you talk about pressure, and I think at this point in the game, when they were up 2-0, I was going to mention the fact that pretty much offense creates defense in hockey. When you keep the puck in Case Western zone, there's not a whole lot of opportunity that they can create if you hold that possession. Now it's just simply a score thing. Not only has the Colonials applied that pressure and power on the forecheck, but now has created points on that forecheck and has done a phenomenal job, especially with Ethan Bendakovic.
The Spartans are going to win that one, that draw. They got to put on the pressure if they want to come back. And here they come. Here is Beek. He gets knocked over by Vukman. And a huge hit by Baker as well, as the body's coming in for the Colonials now. They're feeling themselves. Baker sends that one up to Daniels. Daniels gets tipped up to Vukman. Vukman in, loses it, but gets tipped through from Ermajati, but not able to be possessed. Shot in, just goes wide from Birdshare. Ermajati sends that one in, as now the Colonials going to cut back in. Or sorry, the Spartans. Down in the corner, shot tipped away by Hurok, as now the first line back on, it's Newton. Newton going to send that one in deep. Picked up, Daniels just misses it, gets bodied off by Chika Patskal. Just at the line, it's Newton, he keeps it. Newton gets hit off by Rose, but able to take a hit to make a play as the puck ends up on Smith's stick after the pass from Newton and Rose. As this chemistry from this first line has been incredible tonight.
Not only that, but the physicality from both sides has been there for sure. Even the captain, Brian Baker, getting active down here in their own defensive end, laying a hit down on the boards.
As we hit just under 4 minutes to go, 3:54 to be exact. The Colonials looking to hold this off, as the Spartans now looking in as they just missed the pass. It's picked up by Long. Long going to send that one in deep. Chasing in is number 14, Kessler. Kessler pickpockets one, and the shot doesn't come in from the Quatra. The Spartans now behind their own zone, back to the point. Shot blocked away. That one looked like it stung from Luff, limping a little bit after that shot block. Kessler able to poke that one loose. In front, and that one isn't going to go. Back to the point again. Shot fanned by Hyun. And that one is going to go into the corner. Going to be dumped away, picked up by Tian. Dumped in again. Back and forth the last couple seconds. Scarelli with it behind his own net. Makes a man miss. That's Cohen. Sends it up. Up to Bendikovic again, looking for maybe a third, but unable to catch that pass. Here's Long. Long tries to send it up to Bendikovic. He's not going to be able to reach it, though. The Spartans now, with 2.5 to go, need 4 goals in 2.5 minutes. Not favorable if you're Case Western.
No, not very likely to happen. And a man gets tabletop down there, and we saw this coming. I said it, man. End of the game gets a little chippy, and here we go.
As it's getting very chippy, a penalty will be called. And if it's on Case Western, that's got to be devastating, but it will not be. It will be on RMU. It will be Ethan Bendikovic, which means likely he will not be getting the hat-trick goal, unfortunately. He will be in the box for the last 2 minutes unless a goal is scored by Case Western.
Yeah, no, this little build-up down at the end here was kind of building up for about the past minute or so. Keith Kessler and Simon Cohen shared some words down here not too long ago, and I think that boiled over to a little bit of a tabletop action, so to speak, down here on the corner.
As we will see the penalty kill in for most of the rest of the game if no goals are scored. We'll have to see if this RMU penalty kill can finish the job and shut the door. Back to the point. Shot blocked away by Parzinski. Behind the net. Gets taken down as Parzinski. No call. Shot by shot by Cohen. Gets stopped by Hurok.
Yeah, I mentioned it, I think, at the start of the period. As the game goes on, no matter what the score is, this game is going to get chippy, and we saw it there just then, even with Mike Parzinski going down there and got a little bit of a hold. And wow, the net gets a little bit unbalanced there, and that might be a tough break for Case Western, as an opportunity might have presented itself.
You know who I want to give a shout on that play? Justin Newton. Hooking up the stick, making sure that the Case Western player could not have it. He had a wide open net, but Newton able to stop the stick from moving any closer.
It's the little things, Andrew, and that prevented a goal, and we still have a clean sheet here.
Smith goes for the block, but the pass makes it through. Blocked by Parzinski again, as that one's going to get cleared out. Smith on the chase. Could have had a chance if he just slowed up a little bit. As now Case Western cutting in the rest of the way. 4-on-4 currently as the Spartans forget to make a change. Smith on the power, and Newton able to clear that one. As we get down to 1.5 minutes to go, 90 seconds on the clock. Baker's going to clear that one. Smith is juggling around his stick. Has one on him, gets around him. Beautiful move by Smith. Huge play by Betts, but gets cut off by Keel. There's a little 9-on-9 action in the corner, and that one's going to get called, and it's going to be 4-on-4 to end the game. Betts going to dump it in, and with 1:01, we are going to have 4-on-4 hockey for the last minute and 1 second.
Yeah, you know, the crazy thing is we'll get confirmation. I don't actually think it was the hit that was the penalty. I think there was a little bit of verbal action there.
Definitely some extracurricular that was.
No doubt about it. Parker Smith did take a hit, almost ended up with the reserved goalie in Jeremiah Brozovic. And Brozovic, sorry. And yeah, so I'm not really sure what the call was, but as you mentioned, definitely some extracurriculars there, and we have 4-on-4 hockey for the next 39 seconds.
Vokman wins the draw forward, but it's picked off by the Spartans. Picked up here by Green. Cross-checking is the official call. As the Spartans now trying to finish this game off strong on a hot note. Maybe the the note is keep the game strong so that we can get the momentum into the next game. As a far pass there attempted by Jack Jones is not worked for, and a shot there up into the head and neck area of Hurok, and he's going to make the save. 22 seconds on the clock, and I'm not going to say it.
No, you're not going to say it, but I will say this. Ethan Beck from the Spartans made his way to the net very well, might I add. Made a few Colonials miss, and that's the reason why they have a face-off here down with 22 and a half to go.
Short-handed opportunity and more time cutting off the clock. Hurok with a nice glove save. 18.9 seconds on the clock. 4-0 Colonials.
Don't say it.
I'm not going to say it.
I've already said it a few times tonight, but
I have refrained from saying it as Hurok fixing a little bit in his helmet area. Something might have come loose. His strap looks like it came loose, so he's going to fix that with 18.9 seconds to go.
He doesn't want anything hindering him from
anything,
doing
any specific thing.
Doing something that is relatively important.
As that one's going to go out of the zone. Defenseman was not in the zone. Could have had a shot opportunity if he stays in the zone there. But instead, we're going to just let the clock die here as Bendakovic fans on the shot, and they're just going to dump it in, and that will do it 100%. Don't have to stop myself from saying it anymore. Caden Hurok in his first career college start, ACHA start. Caden Hurok has a shutout. What a game for Caden Hurok. What a game for the Colonials.
Yeah, and you had two guys, only 2 goal scorers despite having 4 goals. I think you could probably tell, though, who is going to be the 3-star for tonight. I know who I would give it to.
I feel like we're going to have the same 3 stars. It's hard to pick anyone differently.
Well,
why don't you give me your 3 stars?
Yeah, we might as well start it right now. Caden Hurok, we don't have an official shot tally. You can actually, I don't know if we keep track of that stat. Nonetheless, you saw just visibly he faced a ton of shots tonight. Kept a clean sheet, which I did almost jinx a few times.
Almost.
But it doesn't matter. First start for Caden Hurok. Phenomenal performance from that young man.
And I'm going to go, obviously, the other 2 stars of the game. You're going to go to none other than Parker Smith and Ethan Bendakovic. It's just where you put them, basically.
Yeah, there's no ifs and ors about it or buts. But also his fellow linesmen set both of them up perfectly, especially Parker Smith's line with Luke Rose and Justin Newton. Both did a great job tonight of setting him up and setting him up for 2 beautiful goals right in front of the net as well. Rippers.
We'll go over the goals one more time. Every goal scored by the Colonials in this 4-0 win. With 1 second left in the first period, it was Parker Smith assisted by Justin Newton. And then with 1 minute to go in the second period, it was Parker Smith again, this time assisted by Luke Rose. With about 5.5 to go in the third, we had Ethan Bendakovic on the breakaway, able to get his first career ACHA, first career college goal. And that was assisted by John Betts. And then just 30 seconds later, it was Ethan Bendakovic again, this time assisted by Jack Jones. He'll get his first points of the season with that assist.
Yeah, I'd have to give Ethan Bendakovic the goal of the game. His last goal, his second goal, was phenomenal, and it wasn't anything flashy. More so the effort from Ethan to go get the puck. Had a swarm of Spartans around the area to go get that puck. Somehow came away with it and was able to tuck it in that top left corner.
He was. It was a beautiful shot. All 4 goals going in the top corner of the net, and that had to be the obvious weakness that the Colonials saw.
Yeah, for most of this game, we saw not a whole lot of play in front of the net, by the crease, so to speak. And then really as the game progressed on, you had a lot of aggression, you had a lot of attack, and then finally I think the Colonials had that formula. They finally figured out that formula to set up guys in that hash area, and were able to get some beautiful shots on net, and were able to come out and do enough to get a W. Obviously, listen, the scoreboard would tell you that this was great performance by RMU, which it was, but there's a lot of things that they need to clean up. I think that their attack, their build-up could have been a lot better, but it's better to do that off a win than a loss. So great job by the Colonials, and be ready for next week.
Correct. And speaking of next week, our next streams, we will have the Club Hockey Live podcast at some point this week. Haven't figured out a date. It'll either be Wednesday or Thursday with me and Caden McCrory as well. And then the next hockey stream will be this Friday at 8 p.m. It'll be back with D1 as they take on John Carroll University. And that will be it for us today. Andrew Keel, along with Billy Depew, Brandon Lindsay on camera, Isabella Bigler behind the computer. We will see you all next week for Club Hockey Live and D1.